Tea Party members, if you will, who have come out in the last 2 or 3 years and basically decided that they're going to get more active in supporting candidates. And that's really where you need to go. It isn't a Republican thing. It isn't a Democrat thing. It's basically a citizen patriotism at its best. And you need to get good people. By good people, I don't care if they're Republican, Independent, Democrat. If you can get behind someone that you can believe in and get good government in there, that's really what it comes down to, because we have too much corruption in this state. And corruption can only be because you have absolute control by one party. When you have absolute control, you're going to start having corruption. And even today, in today's headlines, you have this probe that took place over the last 3 months. The results just came in with the probation department, and it goes back over the past 10 or 11 years where it's pay to play, where politicians were getting special favors to get their friends on the probation department, and it's all over the place. And that's sad. That's a sad commentary.
What about the college Republicans? Have you done much?
I think of it this way, Barry. When you're in college, you only get a limited number of time to spend on extracurricular activities. So they're good. They can come out. They can support candidates. They can get involved, and that's fine. But again, all politics is local. So unless they're willing to travel to other areas, usually they're going to be in the metropolitan centers, like Medford, for example, has Tufts. It's hard to get them to get involved in, say, Revere. And there's no colleges there. So, yeah, I think any group, whether it's a high school group or a college group, it would be great. Certainly your veterans organizations are good people to get in front of. Your Chamber of Commerce, another good group, your Rotary clubs. I mean, people have to get out and start talking about the issues at hand, and where politics and business really merge today. It's important for people to understand that, what goes on in Capitol Hill or Beacon Hill really does affect your pocketbook.
Now, there's something called the Muni PAC.
Yeah, that's the municipal PAC is a PAC that was set up, I believe.
They're from your area.
Yeah, there was a couple of people. Chanel Prunier's involved in that, and Chanel lives in Shrewsbury,
Right.
As does Robino. They all moved to Shrewsbury. I don't ask me why.
Because they want to be near you, Joe.
They want to be near me. I don't think so. That's a PAC that was created to help people who are running for lower offices, and they'll donate $500. Not a lot of money, but it's money to help pay for some printing and some mailings, that sort of thing. That's
when you
good
say
thing.
lower office, you were referring to city and town.
City,
positions.
Town, and state rep.
State rep, too.
They've done some donations to the state reps candidates.
Because the municipal elections are nonpartisan. That's what this
Yeah,
thing is
typically they're not. They're not partisan, and nor should they be, because you don't want to have someone running as a Republican to be mayor of Malden.
Sure.
You want someone to be running as mayor of Malden for all candidates. And but in some cases they do become partisan, but they shouldn't be. I think if you wanted people to run for office on a local election, that's a good place to start. Outside of the city, like Malden, if you go to a town, a lot of people can run for town meeting members. Right. There's a lot of, and whether it's Brookline,
sure.
or Framingham or Shrewsbury, they have limited town meeting. It's a big deal to be on a town meeting member.
And there are offices in towns that do not exist. Of course, in cities, we have a mayor usually, and there's a city council or board of aldermen, and there's a school committee. But in towns, I've seen offices as obscure as the cemetery commissioner.
Right. And a lot of times these are volunteer. That's why I said, if you're going to get involved in politics, and I've got people asking me, I want to be involved in politics. I just don't bother. But if you're going to be involved at the local level. Be involved in your neighborhood. Do a crime watch. It's a small thing, but you can post a crime watch in Malden. I'm sure you have neighborhoods that have some higher degree of crime than others. It only takes one individual and a couple of neighbors, and that's how you get involved.
You sign your emails. The key to success is to get more keys.
Right.
Is this something that you came up with on your own, or is this a quote from?
No, I came up with that about 20 years ago, using it as a slogan for what I was doing in business, and that is that there isn't one key that opens up all the doors. And the best analogy I can have is you ever go to a janitor, they always have a roll of keys on them, and you say, can you open up this door? And they pull out the roll of keys and they try one key after another.
Thinking of Schneider on One Day at a Time.
Exactly, sort of like Schneider on One Day at a Time. Yes, you know, you and I will remember that from the early 70s. But that's what that means, is that, you know, there isn't one thing that's going to win. When you're coaching a football team, as an example, you may have a great quarterback, but the quarterback means nothing unless you have a good line in front of him. So you need to have multiple keys, multiple players, and that's the key to success, is to have all of those keys working in unison and being able to open up new doors. And the other thing I would suggest to people who want to get involved in politics, take the blinders off. Don't start prejudging people. And because I've just run across a great many of people who may disagree with me, and I learn from them.
Well, that brings up the big tent, that the Republican Party is supposedly the big tent. And, you know, you look through the internet, or you look even through just meetings that are being held, we have there's something for everybody.
Sure.
Except for liberals. It's true that even the Ripon Society, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, was actually a liberal Republican think tank, and they've even moved towards the center. But I'm talking organizations like Republican Assembly for the Conservatives, Republican Liberty Caucus for the Libertarian wing of the party. And there's something that Christine Todd Whitman out of New Jersey, the former governor, EPA director, it's called, originally it was called It's My Party Too, but now it's referred to as the Republican Leadership Council. Do you think that they are beneficial to the party, or do they cause division?
Well, look, we only have 11% of registered voters in Massachusetts are Republicans.
Right.
So you can slice that up any which way you want. Big tent to me is that I would have people who would come into Shrewsbury and want to be involved in a Republican town committee. You only have 35 members. That's the maximum number that you can have on a ward or a town committee. Sure. But I also knew that we also had a lot of members who may be members in name only but never show up for a meeting. So what I did was I created associate members, much like you're an associate member over in Medford. That was my idea, get you on to Medford. Why? Because only through an exchange of ideas can you, grow. So in Shrewsbury, as an example, not only do I have Republicans from Shrewsbury that are associate members, I have Republicans from other towns, and I have independents that are associate members because they need their ideas. That's the key. The key is you might have one idea that I never heard of before, and if I close my ears, it doesn't really benefit us.
Thank you for watching. Today's Republican Voice is an independent production. It is not associated with the Massachusetts Republican State Party or any city or town committee.